Okay, good evening and welcome to the December 16th meeting of the Waterboro Town Council. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. We have no public hearings this evening. Any announcements from the board? John?
No.
Gary?
Same.
David?
Nothing.
Wayne? Additions and deletions to the agenda. We have to add the M.R.S.A. lines.
Correct.
I'll make
So-
a motion to add the M.R.S.A. Lions to the agenda under
9D.
9D, yeah.
We-
And to
we-
bring it
we need to-
forward.
We need to do it as an appointment. So-
Oh, sorry.
So,
I'll make it under 5B
okay,
and bring 5B to the top.
okay.
That would be my motion.
Second.
Any second? All those in favor? Thank you. Appointments, we're gonna bring 5B to the front. So Gary, why don't you introduce your
Sure.
folks?
Tonight we have Barbara and Brian Terrell from the M.R.S.A. Lions Club. The Lions Club voted the other night at their meeting to donate $4,000 to the Fuel Assistance Program for the town of Waterboro. And they're here as a ceremonial check to the town. It's on the table over there. If you'd like to speak, if not, we can just do the presentation.
Set it off.
All right. Great, it's a great contribution to the needy in this town. We appreciate it very, very much. So,
It's a lot of hot dogs and hamburgers.
You wanna hold the checkup?
Yep.
Gary?
you want to read the picture, Dave? Or anybody? There you go.
Come on, Gary.
I'll get them on, get in the middle?
In the middle.
Yep.
All right, I'll get in the middle.
You gonna fit?
You can get close to me like you like me.
Pull that corner out just a little bit and then there you go. Yep.
Nice.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank
I'll take
you.
this. What do I want to do now?
Sure. No, she's got the check over.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, happy birthday.
Glad to see you. Happy birthday.
I tried to get out of coming because of that.
I told them this morning it was gonna happen.
Okay, good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you.
very
much.
Merry Christmas.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Right on, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll see ya.
we have Jordan with us tonight, and we're gonna talk about the comprehensive plan presentation. So, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Dennis. Dave, will you pull that up? Thank you. So I have a short presentation, it should be about 10 minutes, and then some time for some question and discussion. First, I just want to talk about what is a comp plan, and then the update process, what that looks like. A few things that are important to know given recent legislative changes, and then questions and discussions. Will you go to slide 3? Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar, a comp plan is a master plan for the future of Waterboro. It generally looks 10 to 15 years into the future. It is governed by Maine's Growth Management Act, which requires municipalities to plan long-term, and it has a whole long list of different requirements that fall under that act about what goes into a comp plan, you know, what the timeline is for public hearings for it, things like that. But in general, the comp plan is really built on 3 fundamental things: data, public engagement, and strategies, and it's all those things coming together. Next. So there are a lot of reasons to do a comprehensive plan. First, it captures and articulates the community's vision, so we'll get a really good understanding of what the residents of Waterboro want and what they want for the future. It does steer the future growth and land use development in the town. That's one of the most important pieces. It communicates residents' wants and needs for the community, and of relevant to you all and to the planning board members who are here tonight is that it helps decision makers with things like evaluating ordinances, implementing projects, and adopting policies. It also helps staff with the same, so making sure that the work we're doing is supported by what the community's vision is. And when it comes to that vision, it's not just saying what is the vision for the next 5, 10, 15 years, but also how can we actually achieve that vision. And in that sense, it serves as a living document. So my goal for this plan is that it does not sit on shelves, but rather it's a helpful tool that, you know, we can pull up during meetings or as staff during our workday and, you know, kind of check what we're doing and making sure that it aligns with the community's vision. It's important to note that the plan does not make law, does not make ordinances or make policies, but it's very essential as the basis for those things. And basically any future, you know, zoning changes or land use ordinance changes need to have their basis in the comp plan. So they need to align with it. Next, please. There are 4 major parts to the comp plan, and I'll go into each of these in detail, but it's basically the inventory, a needs assessment, a vision, and a work plan. Next. The inventory is where we take stock of where we are today. What are our existing conditions? What does the data say about the community? It's also what the community thinks about where we are today. So through public engagement, understanding, you know, the community's perception, because it's, you know, it tells us a lot when data sources and community perception don't align. It also tells us a lot, right, when they do align. So it's important to have both of those pieces. Generally, we divide all of these 4 pieces into different themes. So looking at livability, things like land use, housing, and the economy. Communities looking at things that bring us together, like recreation, historical resources, arts and culture, governance, environmental stewardship, looking at our natural resources, our conserved lands, natural hazards and how we respond to them, and then our working lands like ag and forestry. And then finally, mobility and connectivity, so looking at transportation, public infrastructure, and aging in place. Next. For the needs assessment, that's where we really figure out like our status around the data. So what are our challenges? What are our opportunities? Generally, we do this by looking at the data. So what is the data showing us about, for example, you know, is the data saying, okay, we have a lot of young families, but we don't have a lot of starter homes or rental opportunities that support young families, for example. And then we do a SWOT analysis, so a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, to see what the needs are around these things. And then also the public feedback should identify what people want, what their challenges are, and etc. Next. The third part's the vision. So what do we want and what don't we want? We'll do this work through an achieve, preserve, avoid, and eliminate analysis. So basically, what do we have that we want to keep? What don't we have that we do want? What do we have that we don't want? And what don't we have that we don't want? So what do we want to make sure we continue to not have in the community? We'll also craft a vision statement. So a very succinct, where are we going in Waterboro? What is it that we want for our future? And then the goal statements will be more specific goals that help point toward the vision and achieving that vision, and the goals will generally be divided amongst the different topic areas. Next. The last part of the comp plan is the work plan. This is how we achieve what we want and avoid what we don't want. So with this, we have the future land use map, which is probably the pinnacle of the plan. That's where, we lay out what the land development patterns we want are, where we want growth to happen, where we want growth to not happen, where we want to preserve the natural resources, where that's not as important. All of those questions will be answered in the future land use map. And that will direct future changes to the zoning map. So in some communities, sometimes a comp plan update has a very different future land use map because the community's changed a lot since the last plan. Other times, the future land use map might pretty much resemble your current zoning map because there's less change that's happened or less change that's desired. That's something we'll figure out during the planning process. The work plan also has the policies and actions that will guide what we do. These are particularly important for board and committee members and for staff. And then regional coordination, these are the folks, the organizations, the neighboring communities that we'll need to partner with in order to make some of the policies and actions happen. So if there's, like a new trail that people want that cross town borders, that might go into the regional coordination piece of the work plan, for example. Next. So the update process is ideally a continuous feedback loop. This is not something every planner does, but I feel very strongly about as the best way to ensure a plan that's supported by the community and backed in data. So the goal is that, as staff, we prepare the data, we analyze the data, we look at it, we bring it to a comprehensive plan committee, which will be a steering committee made up of residents, property owners, business owners, and other stakeholders who will help staff vet that data and also share their local experience. We will bring drafts of things like draft goal statements, draft vision statement, etc. to the public, and the public will get to react and share their perspective. We'll then interpret that again with the comprehensive plan committee and update those drafts. So it's a continuous loop of making sure we're hearing what the community wants and incorporating that into the planning document. Next. So the timeline's small on this page, but we zoom in on the next, so don't worry about trying to read it yet. But generally, there's kind of 4 phases to this. There's the intro, where we're kicking off the plan and getting things set up. There's the content and idea generation, where we're really analyzing the data, drafting things, having open houses and discussions, synthesis and review, where we're kind of pulling it all together. And then the adoption phase, where we go through like the formal public hearing process and votes and things like that. Next. And this is just kind of to zoom in, you'll see that there are like staff, planning board and council meetings, comprehensive plan committee meetings, and public events all incorporated throughout the process to make sure we're getting key feedback at key points in the plan and letting the different parts of the plan really inform each other. Next. So something important to know is that the state law governing comprehensive plans changed last June. It's LD 1751 if anyone cares to look into it. The rulemaking for that statute has not yet been adopted. The new state office, the main office of community affairs, is currently establishing a stakeholder group, which will then update that rulemaking and then eventually put the rulemaking out for public comment, and then it will guide what comp plans look like. We have a pretty good idea of what it will look like just based on kind of the legislative discussions around it and things that MOCA has said, and the statute has a lot of detail in and of itself. So we have a good idea, so it feels totally fine to start the process even though the rulemaking isn't finalized yet. It should be done by summer, and the comp plan process is generally about 2 years, so there's a lot of time to make any small adjustments that are needed to capture any specific changes they throw into rulemaking that we don't expect. But overall, the new law emphasizes engagement, the needs assessment piece, and future land use. The previous law, if any of you worked on like the 2015 comp plan, that one emphasized a lot of data gathering. So that's partly why the plan is like 350 pages long. It's because the old law required this huge laundry list of data that moving forward, you don't have to like include every piece of data into the plan. You can look at the data and help, inform it, but you don't need to make sure each number is written in the plan, which is, I think, a great change, and it's a cost-saving change too. Next. Okay, so that's all I had in terms of information to share. I know a lot of you have been involved with comp plans before, but I just want to know, like, what else is important for you all as town council members or the planning board members here to know about this process. So anything else you need to know from me. I'd love to know what would make this comp plan update successful in your eyes. Like, what are you hoping this achieves for the town? If you have any recommendations for members of the comp plan committee, I'd gladly take those. And then I'd also love to know what you would need to feel confident on voting on recommending the comp plan for adoption when that time comes. So what you would need from me, what would you need from the process, anything like that. So with that, I will turn it over to you guys.
Do you plan on meeting with the former members of the comprehensive plan?
If they're interested and willing to participate, absolutely welcome that, yeah.
I know there's a few of them that was on it that would like to be on it again. They've showed some real decent interest, so.
Yeah, that's great. I think can be really helpful.
So I think that's part of your history,
Yeah.
Going back and forward.
And Bob Powers was the chairperson, but he's fairly local. But he doesn't live in Waterboro anymore, but
Okay.
lives in Halls, but, and I'm sure that he would be thrilled to have input in the system.
As far as, we're on TV here, but we haven't created a comp committee as of yet.
Yeah.
But this is something that probably will be formed within the next month or two. I would hope that by February or March, this comp committee is joined together and is working with you. You're working with them to get this rolling by early spring at least.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
You talk about community or public engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Waterboro struggles with that.
Okay.
We're looking for new ideas, and a fresh face would be helpful. What strategies, any thoughts on how you can better engage?
Generally, it's a mixture of as many different types of engagement as possible, because some people will only come to formal meetings. Some people want it to be something more informal and fun. People my age tend to want virtual options.
Right.
So my plan is to try and come up with a bunch of different options, and then to also, talk in more detail with Matt and others about like what the town is currently doing. Trying to connect with community groups can be really effective. So if the Lions Club or other groups are having events, if they're willing to let me table and bring, a laptop for people to fill out surveys or anything like that, I'm willing to do. Any ideas that anyone has, I'm open to, but yeah, generally a smorgasbord of options seems to work best.
Waterboro can't be unique to that. There must be other towns that you've worked with where public engagement is
Yeah,
minimum.
yes, yeah, it's always a struggle.
The last I mean, they met here in the town office, but also had a couple, 3 Saturdays that they had almost an all-day conversation or workshop, and people came and went, and some
We
stayed,
we
some
actually had
didn't.
Yeah,
business forum,
Yeah, I was gonna say, the business,
yeah.
small business forum or whatever.
Was that successful last
Yeah.
time?
I think so.
It was very
yeah.
good.
I also have a very good friend of mine who's a teacher at M.R.S.A, so one thing that I would really love to do is engage the school children, because they're the future of Waterboro. So I'm hoping that I can do some sort of work there. Kids can come up with really amazing ideas when it comes to planning. And it can really energize the process too if they go home to mom and dad and say like, I got to help direct the future of Waterboro, and then maybe it gets the parents interested, and maybe the parents
Yeah.
come.
You've got a very big group of homeschooled, children here in town. that,
Okay, that's good to know.
I think probably that group is another group that you can tie into, and,
Yeah,
and the best part about that is it gets the parents involved too, because they're the teacher.
right, yeah,
You
that's a
know,
great
so-
idea.
That I think will work.
Julie,
in
the
that
librarian
line.
Julie, the librarian works with the homeschool groups.
Okay, yeah, trying to tag into any library events I think could be good too.
But we've got several different buildings here in town that can probably be of a function place other than just this one.
Yeah, I think the former committee had many meetings over at the fireman.
Yeah, and they used the
Grange Hall.
Grange Hall, and then they used East Waterboro Church at one point.
Do you do what's it called, usually like a touch the fire truck event, or like,
Truck?
yeah,
We
We haven't done one, we haven't done one for a while, but that certainly is, I think there's a lot of options.
yeah,
I don't want to take your thunder real quick, but it's probably a good opportunity also for the public, because I think the council knows, but, because we didn't bring it up in the meeting on the 2nd, but obviously the council knows, but Mikala has been hired as and coming on board as our planner, starting the 1st of the year, so she'll be spending a lot more time here with us versus being a subcontractor through Southern Maine Planning Development. I know
Thank you.
I'm very excited. I
Yeah,
think she brings a
very much so.
different level of energy, and I think that's gonna be great for our community. So I think moving forward, we're really excited for this opportunity. And I think this comp plan is a great opportunity for us. And when we looked at what it was going to, the cost and what was gonna be involved with it, it even made our decision more, that we made the right decision. I think we actually talked about the comp plan after the fact. But obviously, we had Tom M.R.S.A. was years ago, and we haven't had a dedicated planner to Waterboro for quite some time, so it's a very exciting opportunity.
Absolutely.
A community of almost probably 10,000 people, and it grows and grows.
yeah. And with all the state focus on
Yeah.
planning recently, a community of your size, yeah, could definitely support a planner, and I'm very excited. I've loved working with Waterboro just in this capacity. I'm excited for it to be.
Yeah,
More.
we created an action list
Oh, great.
from the previous comprehensive
Oh, yes,
plan,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and that was when Gary was here, Gary Lynn.
In 14.
So,
Been a long time.
yeah, so it's ran out of gas,
Right.
so to speak. So,
And our comp plan is 10, 11 years old at this point,
Yeah.
so it's due.
Still got the water slide on Ospey Mountain on your action list?
Huh?
Water slide on Ospey.
Right next to the casino.
Well, if you have any thoughts that come into your head specifically about community engagement or what you think would make this plan successful, like what would be useful for you guys as council members.
Right.
Just drop me a note, happy to just take it all in, and especially as I kind of set up the process for it, all that information is helpful.
Good,
Well, thank you for coming aboard.
thank you.
Yes,
Uh,
thank you.
If this is any indication of what it's gonna be like, it's gonna be a good ride.
Thank you, yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Mikala.
Any public comment? Correspondence, we've got the financial reports, motor vehicle reports for October and November, water district meeting minutes, August through October 15th. If you need a copy of those, you can either find them in our packet, or you just give a call to Laura and we'll get you a copy of it.
Just a thought on that water district. 4 years ago, they said that they needed to shut that tower down to sandblast and paint the inside of that tower, and
No movement on
it's
that.
no movement at all, and I don't know, it ain't getting any better down there.
How old is that, do you know?
Gotta be,
83 maybe?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
90, in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah,
Yes, 90, not 80.
Yeah,
wow.
91, 92. I think that was put up. M&H Logging ran the water system back in the day, so, and they were funded by mostly the DEP, so.
Oh,
And then DEP gave the water district a check to run it after.
oh,
So that the average household bill was no higher than the average state bill. So
But there
we
was,
got like $300,000 in cold cash
Well,
wow.
that they
There was
invested.
quite a bunch of money back then,
So,
but, very slow getting anything like that done.
Yep. Okay, council reports. Anything, Dwayne?
Just a comment, you ride around town right now and people are hauling trash or garbage to the dump, and it's all over the roadside. You ride across Chadman's Ridge, Weber Road, Route 5, Clark's Bridge, somebody's losing garbage out and just being nasty. I mean, they ain't got what it takes to stop and pick up their own garbage. And it's very expensive for our public works to go around and pick this stuff up, or the state, and if they wanna use our transfer station, at least they could get it to the transfer station.
Agreed.
Anything else, Dwayne?
It ain't one bag, it's several.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it at this point.
Okay. Gary, David,
I'm all set, thank you.
Gary?
Yeah, Matt and I met with the Old Home Days Committee, last Thursday, Matt? Whatever, the
Yeah.
4th. Anyways, we targeted some areas of saving some money. We've got a good idea of what we're gonna need for next year, and we're gonna re-meet again and start meeting again in January. But it all looked good as far as what we thought could be cut back, and their agreeance to it. It's a work in progress, but it's heading in the right direction.
Good. John, anything?
Nothing.
We have a handful of Christmas trees that have been donated to the town, and if anybody needs one, give us a call, give Nancy a call, so.
Nice.
Other than that, Matt?
A few things for you. Public Works Garage, is doing site work. Goran Sand and Gravel. I think I mentioned it before, use some of our material, and they'll be starting to screen the sand they removed from the site. I believe they're starting to screen that tomorrow. So we'll be able to reuse the sand that was on site and put that back into supply to put back on the roads. They removed the ledge they found. The power distribution building has been, pad was poured and the building was constructed. The foundation footings and walls have been started to be poured this week, and we continue our meetings with the builders. Departments will continue to work on the FY27 budgets, and right now we sent out the letters to the budget committee, but we'll shoot to begin that process in early January. Just so you're all aware, I did have an opportunity to meet with Jim Carl, or talked with him a couple weeks ago, and just to clear the air to make sure everybody understands, is that I did pass on the message that the town still has an interest in working with the Historical Society regarding some lease space at the building to be built down in the future as a result of the town meeting vote at referendum. Laura, I think I mentioned to Chairman Abbott about the personnel policy, but we've noticed a few errors in it, but we want to go through and do some housekeeping as far as the language of titles have changed with the charter change. So we'll have a list to you guys for those corrections for January 20th. It talks about selectmen still versus council. We did have a meeting, just to follow up with the last meeting we had back in November. Resident from Ross Corner Road showed up, I guess, a couple meetings in November, and we had a meeting, it was December 9th here. I thought initially it was beneficial. I don't know, we have some more work to do. We're legal counsel now. However, we brought the ATV club, snowmobile club, warden service, code enforcement was here, public works, myself, and I think we had some good dialogue from the majority of the group. And so there's some challenges. I guess one or two residents are challenging us now that they don't believe that the information they heard was correct. The town's position, based on the email, and you saw the email that went out, is that the town retained an easement for recreational use and access to other properties, and that it wasn't a completely closed or I don't want to use the wrong term, but that we didn't give up easement.
The discontinuance was not legal.
Correct.
Has that been found to be correct?
We're based
Or are we still
on,
waiting on legal?
based on statute and procedure, it was not done legally. We have been challenged, it's now back with our legal, and we have a meeting with them tomorrow
Okay.
for further. Because it isn't going to just encompass the two roads that we discussed before. It encompasses that whole group of 1955.
55, yes.
Yep,
Yep.
so.
In your packet, we've talked about it, but in your packet is the York County document for the sheriff's office. We are still working on we have several openings. Obviously, we have two positions opening at the fire station for firefighter EMTs. We've been advertising, interviews are ongoing. We have 3 more scheduled for next week. Code enforcement officer is still pending, and we'll be soon posting the transfer station position. For those that aren't aware, Terrence Garrity did work for the town of Waterboro, and he passed away a little over a week ago. If you're not aware, also for the public as well, Age-Friendly Waterboro, April Tucker has been working with that group. There are several buckets that we have here that have lids, the small 2.5 gallon buckets for residents that might need some sand or salt. We have buckets available here. Call town hall, talk to general assistants, and we'll coordinate to either have the sand put in them and or deliver them, or you can pick them up here at town hall. But we have, I believe there's 150 buckets available for that.
If you need some more buckets, holler.
Okay. A reminder, town hall closes at 1 o'clock on Thursday this week for the holiday staff luncheon. I think that's it.
Your hours for next week?
Closing early on Wednesday, before Christmas, it's 1 o'clock, and then obviously close Christmas, and then they close on Friday.
Can we go back to the contract with the sheriff's office, just so the listening public knows that the contract's been worded so that they provide up to 80 hours of contracted time per week. And they did that because they couldn't fulfill the guaranteed 80 hours. And the proof will be coming as far as when we get our bills from them, how much time they can actually spend in our town, given the fact that there are already 6 people down and the potential of losing more people. So that's just an informational thing for the public, for whoever's listening, and pass it on. It is what it is.
And it was also in the design to keep it within our allocated amount that we had.
Correct.
At this point.
Right.
There were several proposals that came from York County that we changed the formula of how it was created, and I think you saw them too, but the costs were exponentially higher.
It was almost double. So,
And it takes, after the cruisers are phased out, we won't be purchasing an upfront cruiser, we'll divide it over 3 years from, essentially a lease from them.
right.
And divide it out.
Okay, anything else, man?
That's it, thank you.
We have the need of 2 new planning board members. We want to put that out there. So if anybody's interested in signing up for the planning board, feel free.
I guess it's time to probably announce that we're looking for, to fill this,
Comprehensive plan.
Yes, and that's an unlimited number.
Right.
I mean, I don't wanna see 40 people, but I would love to see 20 on it to start with, because last time you lost, a handful before it was all said and done. They just got tired or something else come up. So, if we could start with roughly 20 members to start with, you're gonna end up with 15 to 18, hopefully, when you're all said and done. And that would be just a matter of stopping and filling out an application for the comp plan.
All right, let's go to new business. Discuss a vote to a town manager to sign the York County Sheriff's Office contract, deputy contract.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Just a comment, it's 6 months over, I mean, we're into the 6th month of, with no contract, so I mean, we've gone as far as we can go with it.
Yeah.
Got the best that we can get at this point.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Discuss vote to sign the transfer of Ethel S. Downs Book Fund from its current certificate, CD, held in the town's library's name to an account managed by the Friends of the Waterboro Public Library.
So moved as stated by you. How's that? Because I'm not gonna.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, so I did.
Any discussion? Sensing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Discuss a vote to appoint a member to the Community Garden Committee.
Make a motion that we appoint Catherine Pelletier to the Community Garden Committee at her request.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the November 18th.
No, we got old business. Discuss
Okay,
vote
I'm
on,
jumping.
discussion vote on Public Safety Committee. David wanted this on, so, what's your rationale?
So the committee is feeling frustrated at best. No direction from this board. They're feeling not valued, underused, and they're questioning, and I also am questioning, is there even a need to continue this committee? With the charter the way it's written, the town has a safety officer now. Do we want to continue this committee? And several members have clearly stated their frustration to the point where we almost didn't have a committee at the last meeting. But rather than go that route, I'd rather have the board make a decision as a whole.
Any discussion?
Well, I'm thinking back when this was created many moons ago, when I was with the sheriff's office and meeting with those people, the government structure was completely different than it is now. Completely different. And there's only so much we could give them to do on an advisory level. But ultimately, we have a town manager sitting in the office here that can make decisions and has direct contact with the sheriff's office and really good contact with the fire chief and the fire department. So I would be willing to say that that committee has run its course. And, you know, thank you very much for your service, all, you know, whoever's on it now. But it's probably time to abolish it. That's my thought.
I guess I gotta agree with you, Gary. We had fire station, we had, people looking for a full-time police department, we went to the sheriff's department. This stuff was all in the works when this committee was started, and things have all fallen into line, and there isn't a lot of work for them to do, so. They was, at one point, was very valuable to the planning board, and probably haven't done anything with the planning board in several years. So,
I think it's probably time that we, any question?
Just Dave, what's your opinion, what would we need to do to make your committee relevant?
It's challenging because of the charter, the way the town is governed now. It's actually challenging. The committee needs to get on board, like, from the inception of a project. And we're just not doing that.
Public Works Director is another one that was added versus a road commissioner.
Right.
and-
Yeah, the old committees, Road Review Committee is a perfect example.
Right.
We don't have a need for it anymore because we've got a Public Works Director,
Right.
right?
I can
So,
tell you, as a member of the committee, I'm on the Public Safety Committee. I've been on it for years, and we just spin our wheels. We're literally just spinning our wheels. Our monthly meetings are just a waste of an hour. It's just the way you show up, you say over here, we have no, we all bring our own topics, our own suggestions, but we really can't go anywhere with anything. Really, honestly, it feels just kind of like we're just
Existing.
filling a void, right? We're
Right.
just filling a void. And we're all, you know, just like everyone else, we're all busy. So, you know, it's an hour or so of our time. It certainly could go to something else, but we're dedicated to the town too, so if we're needed, we want to be there. We also don't want to waste the town's time either, right?
Right.
It's interesting to see over the last 20 years, the Public Safety Committee, you know, a little over 20 years ago, that the Public Safety Committee's job was certainly much different than it is today.
Of course.
And the fire, you know, from the public safety, we obviously didn't have contract deputy until a little bit after that, but when the fire department wasn't a municipal department, and then it became a municipal department, there was a liaison from that public safety committee to the fire department, and quite frankly, I think, seeing some of the members, and there was some members that were on the fire department that got onto the public safety committee back in the day, and I think even Angela was back on the fire department back years ago, and there was always a little bit of a, I don't want to say a grievance committee, or it was the middle person between town and the fire department.
And that's
So
still written in the bylaws, but it's counterproductive to what the charter
Right,
says.
well, and the
Right.
personnel policy. So
Personnel
personnel
policy,
policy,
that-
probably more than, the charter too, but, it has changed, and, you mentioned about the safety person, even back then, I don't think it was that the town was running to the public safety committee asking for the safety person we put in place several years ago was to keep us in compliance with Maine Bureau of Labor,
Right.
so that we don't get fined, to create safety programs. That was never something that the public safety committee was doing even back in the day. Maybe they did a little bit, but it wasn't really their primary mission.
I was gonna say it was there if you had a problem, but it wasn't used that way.
And now, right now, I don't think the public even knows that much about the fact that there's a public safety committee, right? So we don't deal with a lot of complaints from the public, and we can sit around and we can say, oh yeah, we need a stoplight there. Yeah, that road needs a stoplight. We can't do anything about it, so we can try to bring it to Matt or bring it to the DOT, but it takes more than just 3 or 4 people on a committee to say things need to happen.
One of the biggest things too, one of the biggest challenges with the planning board and the public safety committee is even we're dictated by DOT as to what can happen in particular places versus what can't happen. We've got a project that's being held up to a point right now because DOT said, no, it's either this, this, or this, when there are other options that can be put into place. So even we're being held up, slowed down, at a stall on different things because DOT says, no, it has to be A, B, or C. And you have to navigate around it, and we've got the fire department, the fire marshal saying, but that's not conducive to us. So even if, the public safety committee came and said, oh, hey, we think this would be great, DOT very well gonna look at them and say,
Yeah.
sorry, that's
Right.
not gonna work.
And the sad part is when this fellow that's telling you A, B, or C retires or goes up the ladder, somebody else comes in, and he's got a whole different ballgame, and it's a one-man operation when it comes to these permits.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to do away with the public safety committee.
I will make that motion that the Public Safety Committee be abolished, given the fact that from the time of its inception to now, things have changed drastically.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
One extension.
No, I think
Oh.
I think you're opposed, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Discuss vote to accept the minutes of the November 18th meeting,
I'll make that motion now.
okay?
Sorry for jumping the gun.
Any discussion? All those approved? You're all set with pending decisions, week actions list. Anybody has,
A reminder that the town office will be closed at 1 o'clock on Thursday of this week.
yep,
Next week,
Wednesday at
Wednesday at 1. Okay, next week, Wednesday at 1, and will not reopen until Monday, December, whatever it is, but the tail end of the month.
okay. Items needing signature, with we get the CD transfer letter. We also got the requirement that we Heidi is asking that she do away with the deputy town tax collector, and she's now the tax collector, so. You need to sign those. Other than that,
I got one thing. CEO, have we hired a CEO yet?
In process.
Process, okay.
First of the year.
in a motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. Good
Can I
night.
get two of you to